got several live chances at the festival, starting off with Joss's Hill in the Supreme.
Yeah, I think after the Tolworth, we very much decided that Royal Boy probably had the stamina, and Joss's Hill had the speed, and Barry was very sort of adamant that Joss's Hill was the 2 miler, and I think we decided that Royal Boy would up to 2.5. We haven't finalised the novices yet. There could easily be additions, subtractions, or changes of who goes where. But Joss's Hill certainly is 2 miles, and that's where he goes. Yeah. The only thing I can say about the Supreme Novice Hurdle is we seem to we've run it quite a few times, but the last lot, and they've all been pretty good. Like Binocular, like My 10 to Yours, like Darwalan, like Sprinter Sacra, they've all finished second. And you wonder, well, actually, that seems to be the best place to finish from the Futures point of view, because they've all come out, having finished second in that, to turn out to be champions at the end of the day. I'd prefer one of these not to finish second. I'd prefer to win it. But Joss's Hill, I think he's a bright young talent for the future, and this is where we find out where he is at this stage of his game. He's only a youngster with a little experience, but I hope he's a good horse. I think he had a bit of a wobble in the middle of the winter there where he wasn't quite right. We made the running at Kempton and he didn't run any sort of a race at all. And we had a few that weren't quite right at the time, or whether just actually changing the tactics certainly didn't take to that sort of thing. We've always held him up before. Maybe it was that, but then we've left him alone for a bit. We weren't quite sure what was wrong, but he's come back bright and perky and fresh and well. So, you'd say, yeah, hopefully. If you've got Sprinter Sacra or Simon Sig or Remittance Man, which were certainly amongst the 3 that I remember winning the Arkle, then you actually don't have to worry at all because they were totally different class. This is going to, Grand Duet, he's a classy horse. He's been, he was a champion hurdle horse, and he's got a lot of talent. His jumping's come together as he's progressed through the season. I think he's there. I think it's a bit open, the Arkle, this year. I think, I'm not sure what we'll get from Alan. Champagne Fever, I imagine, and we're probably running around with Hinterland and a couple of Paul Nichols and a couple of Kingies, but he's there's not much between that lot, so he's entitled to be in the firing line anyway.
And Oscar Whiskey goes for the 2.5 mile novice chase. As usual, he split opinions with his run at Sandown last time.
Oh, it wasn't, I don't think it was split. I think we all agree it wasn't spectacular, but up to then he'd been very good. One good thing about him now, he now comes into a festival for the first time running over his optimum trip. He loves Cheltenham and he loves 2.5 around there, but of course at the festival there's never been a 2.5 mile champion hurdle. I've always begged for one, but it'll come when he's gone. So he is in the right place at the right time. It'll be a very competitive race, but he's beaten most of them, and he'll love the place.
And Royal Boy, he goes for the Neptune.
He would almost he's going to go Neptune. Yeah, he goes 2.5. I think that was. Yes, he won the Tolworth over 2 and beat Joss's Hill over 2, but he's just probably that bit extra would help him. Where Captain Cutter goes, I'm not sure. He will go either Neptune or Albert Bartlett. We might move it up. We'll see which races suit. I talked to AP about it briefly the other day, and even he wasn't quite sure, nor am I. So we'll see. They might have to take each other on, which, okay, it would be nicer to avoid each other and give yourself a double chance. But winning one of them will be hard enough, so maybe you're better off with 2 in one race and try and make sure of that.
And final question, if you just had to pick one at this stage as bet of the week, who would you go for?
Well, we've always said anything will do. Even more preferably, one on the first day. That makes a hell of a difference. Usually you can find one nice and early on. You might even catch a second one. But I don't know. I think that, as you say, the novice hurdlers could be good. I would like Captain Cutter. The handicaps are impossible. There's an awful lot of chances in there. I think Darwalan is one. Eric is probably one. Hadrian's Approach could be one. I'd hate to sort of nominate one because it'll be the I don't know, I've just said to a couple of the boys today, Darwinland would be certainly one for the Fred Winter. And you've got to just hope more than anything with most of them.